my shift at the bottom of a hole, making sure that your lights come on. And your interview ain't by candlelight while you're bitching what I'm doing is wrong. This ain't Hollywood. This is West, by God. It's Virginia and Kentucky coal fields. It's the way of life that feeds the kids and wife, and that's the only part that matters down here.
Good to be here. I'm going to run through some slides real quick, but I think this is a great energy club. It's a great idea. If I was back at school, I'd love to be in it because I love energy. I've worked in it all my life. And any form of energy, it's sort of my passion. So when I hear about net zero buildings, it gets me pretty excited. We're building a house, and we just put the geothermal in, and it's probably one of the most energy efficient houses, I think, in Lexington. So anyway, I'm going to roll through. I'll start out with who we are, but it's going to end up, I think, with the big picture on coal and give you a little bit different perspective on it. So bear with me on some of the slides. Basically, these are where our mines are located. The majority of our mines are in Kentucky. We're the largest producer in Kentucky. We produce about 21 million tons a year. That's about 20% of the coal mines in the state of Kentucky is from our coal mines. We're all underground operations across the country. This is our Riverview mine, which I think there's a trip to Riverview. This was a dedication. It started back in August of 2009, over 600 jobs at Riverview, and it's just, you're going to be really impressed with the technology you see in Riverview, and the technology that you do see there was all developed in-house within our own company. We're also in construction right now with a coal mine up north of Wheeling, West Virginia, and hopefully it's producing coal, but hopefully we'll get the big production on by the end of the year. Just energy in general, people take it for granted, but really the basic needs are, if you think about it, is fresh water. A lot of people that don't have energy don't have fresh water. Sewer systems, heat, air. I think that really comes across is when you don't have energy. And we had an ice storm in West Kentucky. I don't know, is anybody here from West Kentucky? We remember the ice storm in 2009. So there was weeks that people didn't have electricity. They couldn't get water. They couldn't get sewage treatment. Wasn't working. There was a lot of systems that were down that people realized how important energy was to them. So anyway, the most important thing I can leave you with is low-cost energy drives our economy. That's what we got to get to. That's the most important thing I leave you with tonight. That's the key to it all. And coal right now is a big part of that. This is the United States, and the consumption, and 46% of the energy consumed in the country is by coal and coal fire. Natural gas 22, nuclear 21, hydro 7%, and then the renewables are finally starting to hit the screen. Just to break it down, in Kentucky, 93% of the power in Kentucky comes from coal. And it has probably one of the lowest electricity rates in the country. I'll just skip through this one. This is fuel pricing, which all it tells you is coal is the lowest price except for nuclear. Nuclear is very cheap to fuel, but it's very costly to put on nuclear because of the cost of construction is very high. So you've got to balance out nuclear. This is Riverview Mine. This is the mine you'll be going to. It's in the farmland of Union County. There's fields all around it. So this is a meatpacking plant here. But this is our footprint, which is about a little less than 1,000 acres, just for our what we use of the surface, which is pretty small when you think about it. What I want to try to leave you with is the scale of coal and what it means. So I'm going to break it down for you on our Riverview Mine. So if you look at what we ship to the LG&E Mill Creek plant up near Louisville, and it breaks down to what that power plant does is about 2 million megawatt hours of electricity per ton of coal burned. And Riverview, mine 7.5 million tons, is 15.35 million megawatt hours. What's that mean? I try to break it down and give people perspective of how it equates to renewables. So right now, Riverview is 17 times larger than what the solar is in all the country, just the energy produced at that one coal mine. So if you break it down a little bit further, I got into how many solar panels it would take to do the same amount of energy as Riverview. And when you do the math and you go to net megawatts, what you need is net, because a solar panel is not perfect. It doesn't run all the time. So the net megawatts produced from that solar panel is a lot less than what its nameplate rating is. So you need to learn nameplate net. So anyway, to compete with Riverview, the solar panels would take up 25% of the county and would take up approximately 55,000 acres of Union County, which is prime farmland right now, to give you just a scale of what this coal mine is for us. And if you do the windmills conversion, we're 21% of what the wind power is in the country, just in that one coal mine in West Kentucky. Back to the wind, if you just do the math on the wind turbines, if you look at 1.5 megawatt wind turbines and how many it would take them about 750 wind turbines to do the same energy as what Riverview is doing. Lay that end to end, those wind turbines would be about 700 miles long. So it's giving you a feel for the scale of what we do. And a lot of times people don't do the math on the scale. This is just real quick where I got some of my assumptions back to what coal's doing and what wind did and what solar is doing. Outlook for coal. As you can see, it's most affordable. Here's natural gas, and coal is a lot cheaper than natural gas as a commodity. What it's done lately in the strides we've made, sort of get lost, and it bothers me because it does get a bad rap. We've really cut our emissions on nitrous oxide, sulfur dioxide, and sulfur trioxide, and carbon monoxide that aren't on here, that we've been putting on our power plant since 1980. So the Phase 1 and Phase 2 of the Clean Air Act really cleaned up coal quite a bit. There's a lot more we can do on that, which I'll get to sort of towards the end. As you can see, this is 6-year shot. Coal is going to be still ahead of hydro, natural gas, oil, and nuclear for consumption. This is probably to me, this is the most telling for our country. This is a breakdown of what the cost is per kilowatt hour. This is what you read on your utility bill that comes. So you can see that Kentucky is 6.5 cents, one of the cheapest rates in the country. But then it tells a story if you go around the country. It's looking up here, look at Idaho, Oregon, and Washington, very low, 6.6 cents, 6.6 cents here. That's because of hydro. There's a lot of water. Well, it rains up there all the time. They got to do something with it, so they generate electricity. So if you go across the country, it tells a tale about where the electricity rates are and why, and it's very telling. So this is what's driving our economy right now, it's the electric rates. Kentucky, 4th largest auto producer, 4th largest aluminum producer in the country, and that's because of electricity rates. Why coal? Creates jobs, promotes energy independence. Everybody knows that we're very abundant with coal compared to other countries. We pay taxes. Our tax bill to the state of Kentucky on severance tax is over $50 million. Our payroll taxes, combine all taxes, we're probably about $80 million a year. Our salaries in the state are about $250 million in salaries and benefits, and we're about $500 million on materials and supplies that we consume to run our coal mines. So for every one job